But Peter didn't know upset about it at all.
No.
He didn't, he said, bring him in.
Ours remains.
Somewhat. I'm kind of limited. Because I don't have a boat to get out there with anymore. But still, I can get out there on nice days. Like I have or something. Put it on.
I stopped trying. I can get it, okay, but you can't get out.
It's so much fun doing it.
Yeah, that's what we have. The voyaging, not voyaging. We had two instances, portions of the garden that they've left behind, and then some fledgling bird houses.
Yeah.
And I see that.
That's my story. Stick with it.
All right.
My yacht, I had a yacht.
Find your place.
You know, that's like, yeah, that's
Right off the bridge.
next to, right in front of the,
Up to Woodbridge.
yacht club.
Right. Yeah, bunch of radio control. So,
Yeah.
I didn't want it. Between 1 and 3, and then we play with the boats, and then we conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, after 50 years, I decided to go to travel all over the area. Finally, I gave it up, said I gave it up.
Yes.
I was trying to do everything that's great now, and especially electronics and stuff, so I knew how they work.
I was going to say, plenty of history of it.
I insisted on 2 motors.
Well, I heard expenses on one of the other residential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first came here.
Right, well, you signed like 8 towns. Yeah, and I owned one, and share expenses was one, and all that was the last one. The guy that owned it, maybe decided that the expenses were more to repair it or more than. So it came out and recycled it.
So, how long ago?
30 feet.
I used to like to walk. Oh, we were gone all summer. But now we're on.
Here, I have something for you from my wife. That's what the bottom looks like.
For me?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you so much. Woo. Should have birthdays more often. No.
No. The number just keeps going.
No. God, I wasn't part of the league here.
And my eye. That was in the day before you put masks on or anything like that. Just staying in the law. We had a big
How are you?
Great.
I got zero complaints.
So a week long, just doing that.
Yes, please. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know. That's on.
Testing, can you hear? Testing, can you hear? I'll turn it on.
This is you.
Hi. Yep. Right in the middle of all this.
Me.
There you are.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to? Oh, why does it look funny? Hours and days.
Okay.
Just over to here. Now. Yeah.
Seahawks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I played,
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
my son and I played golf.
Can you hear me, Jeff? Sounds like you hear me.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
They're just not paying attention to you now.
That would be something there.
This is God speaking. That just does it.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's just not very loud.
Why don't we always listen to loud microphones everywhere?
Because nobody likes them.
Oh, that's it, right?
Nobody wants to be on them anyway, is my experience. Oh, it is a football day, isn't it? Seahawks game tonight. Preseason game, yeah.
Oh, boy, I'm so sorry.
I love football season. It's not as exciting to watch. I like to play soccer.
I played pickleball with my grandson, trying to put it was fun.
We go up and play every once in a while. There's some court that's right up there by the golf course.
And they booted out a pickleball court. Somebody
Off and on. And I took a couple of that way back. 48 years ago.
This is it, huh?
I was sweater because it was cold, but not cold.
It looks like it should be cold.
I know, and then I wear a sweater and it's like I'm sweltering.
I'll just hand them
75.
Well, let's stick this.
Yep. 15.
Not here.
Lying this out.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the August meeting of the Port Level Village Council. My name is John Goldwood. I'm president of the Village Council, calling the meeting to order. This meeting will follow Robert's Rules of Order for small boards, and the meeting will be recorded and is being broadcast live as we speak to the world. I'm sure. Vladimir is paying close attention right now.
Very close.
He's looking for clues.
Elon's looking for federal employees.
Thank all of you who are here as guests, and we'll jump right into things here with our stakeholder update. And Jameson, you're up first. Greg Brotherton is out of town today, and couldn't be here.
Okay. Alrighty, so Jameson Hahn, Jefferson PUD, and just want to say sorry for missing the last meeting because there's some big stuff going on. First and foremost, actually, as of this week, we have a new general manager, actually sitting right back there. This is Joe Wilson. So, Joe has more than 30 years in the utility industry, and he joins us from Tacoma Power, and we are super excited to have him on board. It has been a 6-month search, and I'm really excited to get to work with Joe. So he'll step up here in just a little bit, and yeah, just introduce himself personally. Other exciting news, this weekend we have the Jefferson County Fair. So we have our booth at a new spot right next to the pies and other yummy food. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask today. If you come up with something between now and tomorrow, Saturday or Sunday, come out, ask us anything. Happy to help in any way. So other fun, big topics. Last month, the reason I really wanted to be here was you may have noticed on your bills we had a rate adjustment. So that one, as of July 5th, the rate structure, which I think I mentioned over the last couple meetings, has finally taken effect. So that meant approximately 9% for residential rate increase. That number, of course, that is the 9% for this year. It is a 4-year slate of increases, so it's not 9% per year. Next year, there is a 7.75%, following 7.75%. And then I'm not exactly sure on the 4th year. But again, these are numbers that are also up to the board to look at how we're doing with our project workload, which I've covered some of the projects that we have down in the Ludlow area, and you can kind of see where that money will be going directly to your area too. They will be reviewing those projects, because that's where these rates will be going primarily, and reviewing it and saying, yes, we need it for the next year, and so on. That kind of brings us to the project update for Ludlow. And are there any questions on the rates themselves? I know we kind of touched on them previously, but it has been what our board will be reviewing, and that is what we're going to be looking at. Substation builds, feeders, as you're going to be having out here in Port Ludlow. You have a new transformer that just arrived, or new rebuild for Bay 2. So that's, these are all big reliability projects for y'all. So again, if you have questions on any of it, let us know. And yeah, let's see, we have rates, we have, gosh, I think that's, kind of where we're at. Any,
Can I ask you, how much did Bonneville eventually decide to raise their rates to?
So their rate structure, and actually I have them jotted down right here. Yeah, so they're 8.9%, so we're primarily a tier 1 power purchaser. 8.9% is the rate that they are locking in. And for transmission, which they're doing a lot of build out, that is 19.9% is what they're calculating in. Now, every utility is different on how much that dollar and cent actually is, because we are considered a pretty small utility. We are in that tier 1, and our power goes tier 2 and tier 3 if you're really purchasing under heavy load. So we are able to see how much that's going to cost the utility, and actually we're about to step into budget season, so Joe has good timing. So our October meeting is our big budget meeting. If you get a chance to, please check it out. You can go online and watch, but it's a chance to really see the nuts and bolts of where our dollars go and how much we're paying for purchase power and everything. So the rates are going up though, and that's a lot of data farms stuff that's happening to AI, everything. There's just, everybody is more electrified than ever, and BPA is trying to keep up. So, yeah. Joe, would you like to come up and say a few words?
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Jameson. It's a little bit awkward going after a better public speaker at the Jefferson PUD. Super thankful to have Jameson here, but he makes me look bad when talking right after. Yeah, I'm thankful to be part of the community. I have been living in Gig Harbor for the last 18 years, working at both first Peninsula Light Company, which is what brought me to Gig Harbor, and then working for Tacoma Power for the last 15 years. However, if you go way back in my career, I started, after graduating from the University of Washington in electrical engineering, I went to work for Puget Sound Energy. And they were the provider of this region. And in fact, when I worked at Puget Sound Energy, the CEO, Rich Sonstally, was a resident of Fort Ludlow. And there were some power quality events that were going on. And
The way you guys polish things.
maybe some of these folks are aware of that, and he certainly was feeling some pressure from the community to solve them. So I got sent down here to try to assess some of those problems, and it turned out to be related to the transmission line that is near Shine Road. It was getting drugged down by some trees into the distribution, and that transformer that Jameson was just referring to was experiencing about 4 times what its voltage should have been, and blowing up some of your microwaves and damaging some of your appliances. So things have gotten better with some of those issues, but there continue to be challenges with the trees in the area, and tree trimming and reliability are a significant concern and area of focus for me. However, those things get into tension with rates, and so one of the things that I'm going to be really curious about is I'm hearing from the community and planning to be out at the fair booth for a while with Jameson, is how people feel about that balance and that tension. We can be less reliable and invest less in the system and focus on rate affordability, or we can try to boost the reliability. Unfortunately, in looking across other systems in the state, we have some disadvantages. We all have trees here, we have fairly low customer per mile counts, we have a lot of exposure for the number of customers that we serve. And I understand we're more reliable than we were when I was working with Puget, so that's good, but there's still some opportunities. We're not as reliable as we want to be. So what my goal is to try to find a sweet spot about how much investment we should be making in the system for reliability, but being mindful that you all are having to pay those rates and just be really good stewards of those funds. So feedback is helpful to try to dial that in. We'll be looking for cost-effective measures regardless. Those can be stayed or they can be moved forward depending on what the appetite of our customers who own the utility are for making those investments. So, happy to take any questions or if you have feedback for me now. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the community.
John, could I add one thing here real quick?
Absolutely.
I had it in my hand, literally. I'll pop it here because this one might, there's folks online. So we got a really unique program going on right now with BPA, so our power provider. They're looking for efficiency ways they can be more efficient all the time. Folks that are on our list for income qualified households would have received a postcard like this, which is a voucher. That is good for a washer and a dryer. That is an $800 washer, $800 dryer that BPA is providing rebates for. So if you are interested, if you qualify, there is on our website under the sustainability tab, you can actually find information on this program. It is a first come, first serve, so anybody that's online there. If you're interested, give us a call. We can walk you through the steps because this is an incredible deal. It helps us cut load, and that is the goal. And it saves resources on water when you have Energy Star qualified appliances. Henry's in Port Hadlock, they are the ones that are doing the distribution for folks that do qualify. It's a very simple attestation form, and we really want people to come out because we have a lot of funding available. However, it is first come, first serve. So if you receive this, that's awesome. Please make the next step at Henry's to sign up, get on the list, and we'll make sure that you get the washer dryer. Because it saves us all when we can save on that overall peak load and just energy savings in general. So, and it can save you monthly. So, yeah, there you go.
Great. Thanks, Jameson. And echoing what you heard, Joe, welcome to the community, welcome to your new role. And Jameson has been a stalwart communicator for the PUD here to Board Ludlow for a number of years, and we're always pleased with his support and participation in our efforts out here.
Thank you, Joe.
So. All right, Diana. Do you want to stand or you want to?
Hello, everyone. Just finished our all-staff day and picnic today for Port Ludlow Associates and Owsey, and that was really fun. We did a picnic under the tent. So it's also Spirit Day, so we are celebrating the Seahawks who play tonight at 7, which is great. Couple of things. There's a new little thing going on. So we have been working on where are we going to develop next. We have some options. Some of those options are complicated. And we have talked a long time about developing where our trailers are. It's always been the thought process. And ever since we built the cottages, we kind of thought, oh, walkability, everything to the center. And after much consideration, that is where we are going to do our next land. That's going to cause, where are we going, right? So it does displace the church at the conference center, and they've known all along that that could happen. And it also, the RV park goes away, which we've also known from day one. And the lease for the RV park has it in it that, we have to give so much notice and that this is coming and be prepared for it. And then we've been talking forever with the trails, and what we're gonna do with the interpretive center, or the interpretive gardens on the way to the falls, is we're going to incorporate them somehow into the land plan. And we'll probably only have about 5 parking spots, maybe a couple more, but we're working on that right now. And then I left a message with Larry Scott, but I haven't heard back from him. So that's, I'm hearing some noise in the community that we're taking away an asset or an amenity, but it has been long-term knowledge. And actually Larry Scott will be the first person, every single time he talks about the interpretive trail, he says, this is a temporary interpretive trail, blah, blah, blah. And he's been saying that since day one, because we have communicated that all along. So I'm getting a little flack on the RV park, but I do believe that it has been open communication. And when is this gonna happen? To complete a land plan is probably 2 years, but how soon could dirt work happen? So I'm thinking 6 months to a year, those changes will evolve, and we'll figure it out as we go along. So if you hear anything, that's what's happening.
So in the development process, how many, is this condos, is this homes, I'm trying to.
How many is it, what?
Is it condos, is it
What are you
Home-
saying?
It's a single family.
single family? Okay, any idea on a number, like ballpark?
I don't have a number, but I'm hoping 50 plus,
Oh, wow, cool.
yeah.
So
So I'm
it's
hoping.
similar to Anchor Lane development?
What?
I don't, we would sell the lot, so we wouldn't have control over who built it, but it would have green space versus through the interpretive trail and the Level Falls area. But we would stay with our plan now, which is to sell lots rather than new builders. Let's see, so the next thing is, I don't know if anybody has seen all the scaffolding up the totem pole out on Burner Point. David Boxley, the original carver who was here 30 years ago, he has came back, and his sons, and they have been restoring the totem pole this week. As a matter of fact, he just finished today. The scaffolding, we hope, is down by tomorrow. And on Sunday, we're doing a celebration. So hopefully everybody's heard about it. At 2 o'clock, It's free, just come out, there'll be dancers, there'll be some speeches, and they will talk about the totem pole and the significance. For those who want, there is a dinner planned around that, and it's $33, it's a salmon type dinner. So if you're interested in dinner, please make a reservation, but otherwise, everybody come, it's free. We would love to see a great turnout for David. He is bringing about 20 dancers. They're going to dance, as well as he has invited Port Gamble Tribe, and one of the gentlemen's going to speak, and he's going to bless and sing for the totem pole, which is going to be very nice. Starts at 2 o'clock, probably runs an hour for the ceremony and the dancing and everything. And should be a good turnout, weather's going to be nice. And then we're working on the wastewater treatment plant. I've been talking to banks about a traditional loan. That's in the very baby process. We would like to do a little bit of we lost, because, regulations change all the time, as you know. They're constantly changing, and we're constantly adjusting to accommodate those regulations. So many years ago, we had to take one of our pieces of equipment and make it a digester, and then that kept us in compliance with some of the new rules. Well, now we need to take that digester back, put it back to what it was. So we're going to be doing some work on the wastewater treatment plant. Probably about $3 million, $3.5 million. We are working with we're working with BHC, consulting firm. We've been working with them for over 2 years to figure out what we want to do with the wastewater treatment plant, what makes sense. We had talked about maybe we do fertilizer, but Rainier now, Pope Resources historically, they allow us to spray our sludge on their tree farm, and it's a win-win. They're getting fertilizer, they're getting water, we're getting rid of byproduct. So, if we ever said, oh, we want to get to a Class A where we can drink our water, that's like 15 million. And that's really not reasonable in a community of 1780 hookups, right? So we're trying to do what makes sense for the 3.5 million that would increase capacity back to where we were before we had to make these changes. So I believe that Jason has reached out to utility, or maybe to you, okay? I wanted to have more discussions and talk about and how we're going to move that. We were talking about maybe a town hall in September-ish before snowbirds leave.
Right.
So we're just kind of, even though we've had 2 years of work, it seems like we're still in the start of this process. So I think it would be great just to continue conversations. We are going to work on finalizing and getting a bid package, because that's something I'll need for the bank. So that's my next process. And unfortunately, I don't have, like on the water side, we did the drinking water state revolving fund. I don't have that option on the sewer side. So that's 1% interest to the community, which is fantastic. This one will be at normal interest, which my last one was 7.8%. So it's a big number. So we'll figure that out, and we'll continue to communicate that and have those conversations. Today and tomorrow, we're doing the 50th anniversary golf course tournament. So it's kind of fun. We were just talking about Ted Wertz, who was originally the pro that started out in 1975. He is actually up at the course, hanging out, greeting the golfers. He's going to be there tomorrow during the award ceremony, we think around 2-ish. Anyways, it's going to be super fun. Super fun to see him and to see the people show up and enjoy the course and our 50th year. It's amazing, it's our 50th year. And then a big thing happening in September, especially for those of you who have boats in the marina, is we have, since February, been working with Marine Floats. They are building our Sea Dock East. That will start in our marina on September 22nd. So we'll be removing CDOC East, which unfortunately is where the ramp goes. So we're gonna remove that. The ramp will be temporary for a while. And we have to build a ramp on the other side. Gotta move a lot of boats. We'll pull that out, we'll pull out those pilings, and then we're gonna come in and they're gonna float in the new docks. We'll put the new pilings down. And then we're also gonna replace 24 pilings throughout the marina that we feel are, critical or need to be, some of them are too short. And like when we had a really high tide and the right atmospheric condition, we almost lost a dock. And our team was able to rebuild the damage that occurred. So we're really excited. This is part one. In the Corps of Engineer permit, we have the right to rebuild all of CDOC, all of DDOC, all of EDOC. But just to do CDOC East has been $2.2 million. So I'm not sure how fast it'll go along, but we also need to, Corps of Engineer permits are only good for 3 years, which I think is crazy. They should be good for like 20 years. So we're gonna go back in next year, we're gonna ask for an extension because we've done substantial work. And we're gonna hope we can move that forward because every single time you go in for a permit, it's more stringent, much more stringent. When we originally did some changes in the docks, we didn't have to pay mitigation if it was like for like. Today, you have to pay mitigation no matter what. So we are removing 65 of the pilings down the bay as our mediation. And then that'll leave us with, I don't know, less than 10 for our next dock to do. So we'll see how that goes along. Let's see, a bunch of things happening, events for the community and also to draw guests in. We have wine tasting next Tuesday, $10 flight, and you get a little bit of food with that. Super fun, just come down to the inn, hang out. We also doing cork and canvas, painting and wine, last Wednesday of every month. Stitch and sip, which if you knit or crochet or do those kinds of things. First Thursday of every month. Of course, we have a happy hour every day, 2 to 5, 7 days a week. And then farm suppers on Sunday. So lots of activity going on, which is really fun. A couple weddings scheduled, which is also good. I think I covered up everything I had. Any questions?
Where's the access to the interpretive trail going to be?
We're not sure yet.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna give up a house lot that will become the access and the parking and so, but I haven't seen a land plan yet that I like. The last one was like, no, we're not doing that. So they're coming out Monday, so I might have something in a couple weeks that might give me an idea. Yeah, and we'll meet with the trails and have a conversation.
Ice fishing, was that all completed and everything all done with?
Ice picking?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't get to see the process, I was really intrigued, so.
Oh, I should actually talk about that. Yeah, we have videos and different things on our Aussie website. It's really fun, actually. We learned a lot on ice picking. And we found some pressure reducing valves we didn't know we had, or at least our current crew didn't know we had. And so we've got a great inventory, we've got a great mapping system now of our system. We didn't know in a bunch of the cul-de-sacs, we have lines that go across the back of the cul-de-sacs. So not only does the line go down the cul-de-sac, but it attaches to the next. So when we were doing ice picking, we had to close 100% of that circle. Because if we didn't, once the ice picking started here, it would go on that little connector. So we learned those kinds of things, was like, gotta get in there, do this, do that. But so we have much better tools and visually much better tools, which is great. We did have to do 5 extra days of ice picking, which is the cost of about 60 grand. The UTC said we can come back and we can ask for a different surcharge. And honestly, I looked at the amount of work, whether our system would handle it, the people have already paid in advance, the people who haven't paid. And the first year is one number, the second year is a second number. If we go back, we're gonna go into a third year. So even though we're out of pocket for that, it's kind of like, okay, we're not gonna go back and ask for that, but we could ask for that in a future rate. But I honestly don't know that our software will allow us to do that without 100 hours of work. And right now, I'm looking for new software, because I've just kind of had it with this software. It's very difficult software, but we're so tiny, most of the systems are either non-existent or they're for big, you know? And so we're trying to find something that fits us, and I'm sure it will have a lot of issues too, but I'm looking for something that I can, I know SQL scripting, I know other things, but I can't do that with this one. I can't do anything. So it's very hard to extract data, and that's really what I want to look for. But the decision is made, and we'll probably bring that up at the town hall, is that we're not going to come back to the community for that. But again, that could be a rate case down the road. So, but the ice picking went really good. We have not had any complaints. We have had a couple instances of brown water, ended up that it was in their tanks or in their house. It was not in our line. So at the meter, we could show them the water was clear, and then we would go into the house and the house would have brown water. We do have, there is a couple of spots that didn't get all the way into just because of how it's built. So we'll have to watch those, and we have those on ours to make sure that we're talking to people and paying attention. So yeah, it went really well. Unfortunately, they had 5 days where they broke down. We didn't have any charge for that. And then, as I figured, we had 5 days over. But it was a good process, and it was kind of cool to watch.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan. I want to go back to, first of all, I'm excited about the development, your project. I have a couple, I don't know if you know yet how many lots you're going to be able to plat out, or close to that number?
Yeah, we're thinking 50 plus,
Okay.
you know.
And then along with that, I have 2 follow-up questions. One is this in South Bay or North Bay?
Well.
Or Middle Bay? Or we call it Mid Bay?
Middle Bay.
So this
Middle
is, I
Earth.
don't know if Elmsy's here, but yeah.
She is.
So, how do I say this politically correct? We have the right to annex in Falls Terrace to South Bay Community Association. However, South Bay Community Association made us double pay when we had the assessment for lots, for homes, the $1,000. And they found a loophole in an agreement that we tried to be very fair and took advantage of that. And we ended up paying about $28,000 twice for that $1,000 assessment. So it will not be going into SBCA. We may talk to LMC and see if they would like that. Or we may ask the potential buyer if they care. And they may go no, neither. So I don't know yet.
So that's my third question was, so you'll do pre-development and then sell to a builder, or you're gonna do?
We're gonna develop the lots and then we'll sell them to a builder.
You're gonna do pre-development?
Just like we did in Olympic Terrace.
Yeah.
Yeah, the real difference is Olympic Terrace would take us 5+ years to build out. And if you've gone up there,
Well, I've been
Richard
there every
American
day.
is like
Yeah.
screaming through
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
Their sales office is now open Wednesday through Sunday, 10 to 6, 10 to 6. And
By
they're happy to
appointment on Monday and Tuesday.
yeah, and they're happy to show you. They have the model, of course, and then they have one available. But they've listed the pricing. Those are out there.
Yeah, it's on Zillow. Well, I mean, it's out everywhere, but I checked it out. Well, thank you. That answered my question. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Perfect.
Thank you, Diana.
Yeah.
Is the dinner with the Total Restoration, is that like outside dinner on Burger Point, or is it in the restaurant? You know?
I think dinner is gonna be outside tables as well as in the restaurant, and it's gonna be a nice day, so, and probably on the veranda and every place else, so,
No, it's gonna be a fun thing.
yeah, it'll be fun.
Great, thanks for all of that, that's a lot.
Thank you.
It's a lot of news in a short period of time, so thanks. Lots to digest. As we move to HOA updates, Joan Johnston is not able to be here from LMC. She sent a note that just let us know that the LMC is hosting a barbecue for LMC residents on August 9th from 2 to 5. And they're seeing
12 to 2.
no, 12 to 2. Thank you for the correction. And that they are seeing lots more use of the beach club by community and other groups. So that was her update from LMC. And Carolyn.
So, I'm Carolyn O'Keefe, I'm the president of SBCA, board of directors, and we have been busy with our new board doing orientations and workshops. So we've had 2 workshops already, and we've got more in the future. A big goal of ours that we mentioned at our annual homeowners meeting was our really focus on long-term planning and setting goals and priorities that will help us to be good fiscal stewards of our funds that we collect from our members, our lot-paying members. So that's been huge for us. We had a nice, successful pancake breakfast. As I say, last week on Friday, it was for the Port Ludlow Art League, and that was nicely attended by folks across the community. We're having a members social for our membership this Friday, which is like tomorrow. It'll be a barbecue with hamburgers and hot dogs, and members are bringing in all the condiments and things, so that should be a wonderful activity. As I think Diana was saying, Richmond American Homes is going gangbusters up in Olympic Terrace too, so they've already moved their trailer, construction site superintendent trailer down to the lower development, and they've started putting in foundations down there. So it's pretty incredible what's happening, and I think there's only one lot that isn't in anywhere near, well maybe 2 now, I'll have to go up and look, but in the upper development, it's the 1 or 2 lots next to the model home. It's like they don't want to really disturb, well, I can blame them, that area while they're trying to sell homes. But the model home is beautiful. They've got it nicely landscaped. The furnishings inside are lovely. And they have some homes that are open with the sales team. That's one thing that we at Olympic Terrace too have shared with our local HOA members, is that you can't just walk into those any of the homes without letting the sales people know, and preferably they'd like to go with us or with the person. They have a whole, they open up their cupboard, they've got like many hard hats, so it is a work site. And I know Diana knows this from all the times of dealing with all of us in Olympic Terrace too, who kept trudging around our own lots that weren't ours because we didn't have them yet. So it is a big deal that we love having visitors, but the sales team really would like to make sure that, that for their liability, for their sake, that we any of us that go up do check in with the sales office and get somebody to go with you. So, I don't know, it feels like we're busy. I don't know, we just got our new board up and running, and so it's a lot of just trying to provide orientation and direction and moving ahead as one board with one voice. I think that's our, kind of our mission, one board, one voice, lots of opinions, but in the end, one focus and one voice. So that's all I have. Other than I went to Lady Gaga last night, and it was really excellent, and I'm tired.
Thank you, Carolyn. We'll move to board business, starting with the approval of the July 2025 Proposal Village Council minutes. You've all seen them. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Minutes have been approved. John Cacho is not available this afternoon, our treasurer. So a brief financial update from John. Our income for July was $1,100. Year-to-date income for PLVC is about $3,500. We had an August raffle, which brought in $750, thanks to Lois and the team, for volunteers. Thank you, Lois. And our expenses for July were less than $300, and we have spent about $9,700 year to date. Our cash balance at the end of July was $15,000 approximately, and our forecast is that we will finish the calendar year with about $10,000 in the bank to get us started for 2026. Any questions from a financial perspective? Dan?
I'm just curious of what the revenue plan going forward in 26 is.
So we actually invested, not spent, we invested 3 hours plus or minus yesterday afternoon talking exactly about that plan. And so at a very high level, we will be repeating last year's effort of solicitation for donations from our residents in the fourth quarter. Last year, 2024, we generated about $20,000 in donations for the financial drive, basically, in Q4. There are a number of things that are being considered for either expansions or abilities to provide another path for revenue generation in 2026, events and or projects that we're looking at that would hopefully mitigate, reduce the need for individual donations in the future. But actually compared to where we were a year ago, we are dramatically improved. And we have a pretty high degree of confidence for 2026 that we'll be in good shape for 2026.
Okay. Events are a lot of trouble.
I'm sorry?
Events are a lot of trouble.
Yes. Yeah.
They're not good revenue sources. They're
Right.
not work.
Any other questions from a finance perspective? All right. We have no representation from emergency here today. The emergency committee has prepared a draft document, kind of a community emergency plan. They are continuing to work on revisions to that community emergency plan, and that process, the exact calendaring for that, is not clear at this point. My understanding is they're actively working on the draft document. When the draft document is ready for our review, we'll be scheduling a separate meeting with the emergency committee to review that document in detail, while also obtaining input from Jefferson County Department of Emergency Management, Chief Black from East Jefferson Fire and Rescue, and I'm sure there will be a lot of community input sought and hopefully received before we come up with a final plan. There's a lot of creating a community plan for a community like Port Ludlow carries some unique challenges because of our governmental authority within the community. And so we're really heavily reliant upon Jefferson County. We have some very active volunteers here locally who have both experience and passion around emergency management. And so there's opportunities to kind of try and bring all those energies together and come up with a good plan for the future. Anything from our communications team, Jeff?
Communications is mostly at this point, we're rolling out support for the upcoming election, an online method of doing that. And for the most part, communication right now is social wellness.
Yes.
So Lois can fill
Take
us
it
in.
away?
Yeah, Lois, take it away.
So I've been selected or volunteered or voluntold to be chairman of the Social Wellness Committee, which I'm happy to do. I'm replacing Kay, not replacing Kay, following in her footsteps, I should say. So our next event is October 25th, with board approval, so I'll be making a motion to begin planning for a paw parade, a dog parade, and costume contest. That'll be 12 to 3 on Saturday, October 25th. Diana's been gracious enough to allow us to use the grassy area where we just had the concert. And hoping to invite Humane Society, some vets, possibly groomers to participate. Right now we're just in the planning stages. We don't have a budget, but we need to come together to start looking at that. We try to do these things budget-free, but we're realistic because we do have to advertise and printing expenses and so on. So do I make the motion now, John, to begin planning
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
accepting the October 25th date and our local first PLVC Paw Parade? So
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you.
And just to clarify, we're just acknowledging the planning process
Yes.
with you. No budget
No commitment yet.
commitment from the board at this point. That will come hopefully by the next board meeting in September.
And I will tell you that people that I see on the trails and people that I know are really excited about this. It should be a lot of fun, and the whole focus really is just to bring the community together and build that rapport, as one, like Carolyn says, one Port Ludlow. So we're looking forward to that. So come on out, and we'll have more. Howard's going to be working with me and probably drag a couple of other team members in. So thank you. Any questions?
So there's motion on the floor to provide initial planning for this process, and it's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? You're good.
Oh, and just one other thing, for the other pets, the unique pets, we're gonna do a photo contest, because we certainly can't have dogs and cats together, and it's just a logistics issue, so the cat people will have their opportunity, and the lizard people and everyone else that have those unique pets, so that'll be fun too. And there'll be prizes and judges.
Great. Thanks, Lois. And Tam,
Yes. Administration, we'll talk about that first. The administration committee is proud and relieved to announce that this is the first time I've tried this and it's got to work for me here. I can't talk about that. I'll talk about it.
I'll be a help.
All right. So that the enormous task of completely rewriting the policies and procedures manual has reached a level of completion. We've added a new section entitled Annual Meeting, which is provides a checklist of items that need to be accomplished before an annual meeting can be held. This will leave a footprint regarding the annual meeting for new board members and will be a good review for current board members. We just have some minor administrative issues to complete before we present this approximately 42-page document to the board. We intend to do that within the next 2 weeks, so the board can review this document and be prepared to discuss it at our August workshop. We will be identifying some sections that either we want board decision on it or board input. And those will be the ones we'll ask that you concentrate on. You can read the whole thing if you want to, but it is a long document and some of it is just housekeeping stuff. Okay, so there's a need there will be a need to changes and additions perhaps every year to keep it up to date. That we have not done an update for years now, and it certainly was needed. And as some of you may know, I've been mentioning the policies and procedures and the bylaws for several months now. It has taken us literally labor of love, meeting twice or 3 times a month to get this finished. And my promise to John was that we would have it ready to vote on at the September board meeting, and we will. The administrative committee is prepared for the eventuality of needing to rework this every month, or every year, excuse me. Okay, so there's another item for administration, if I may, and that is the annual meeting. A refreshments quote was presented to the board at our July workshop for a suggested reception following our annual meeting this year in October. And under item 8351 of our 2025 budget, the annual meeting is budgeted for $500. And I would like to make a motion that the board approve $412 to be spent on food and wine, plus a liquor license, which costs $10, for the annual meeting reception on October 21st, 2025. May I have a second, please?
Do we
I have a question.
have a question?
No,
Sure,
you
yeah,
can do it, you get it.
Yeah.
Second it
I'll
first.
Second,
and
I'll
go.
second.
Okay, so is there any discussion?
Dan?
I just heard by rumor mill that the liquor license has gone up to $25.
I purchased it already and it's $10.
Just in time.
Just in time.
25 for you, Dan. Okay, except the book club just got charged $25 for
When did they buy it? Did they buy it before August 1st?
I have no idea.
That's when it has changed.
Oh,
It's August 1st, the new date?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then she screwed up.
Yeah, other questions? Discussions? There had been some comment before we had this discussion at the workshop that some people didn't want us to spend the money, some members of the board. This is your chance to say something if you have something to share.
I think it's money well spent.
Okay.
we agree.
So I think the concern that some of us had at the time that you made the proposal was we didn't have clear information about what our financial condition was going to be
Mhm.
at the end of 2025. And so I particularly was concerned about asking for entertainment expense at the same time that we're asking for our financial donations and supporters to be fully invested in us for Q4 as well.
Mhm.
Given our financial condition as it exists today and how it looks for 2026, I have no concerns at this point in having the event. And I think as SBCA does, I think consistently, the events following the meeting are generally well attended and well appreciated by the attendees. And I think it's a good thing to move forward with.
Good. That was the hope that that would be the outcome.
Yep.
So all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Are there any nays? Okay, great, thank you very much.
You said.
John,
Jeff second.
John did.
Who's on the first so far? Either one.
I thirded it.
Do you want to talk about the elections?
Yes, thank you. The Elections Committee, currently we have 4 candidates running for a 2-year term. Jeff Lang and Tracy Geipel are running for re-election, and Gary Hammond, who's in the audience, Gary, wave your hand.
It's,
And Chris Wally, is Chris here?
no, he's not even back in town.
Oh, that's right. They're running for the first time. Their candidate statements have been submitted to The Voice to be published in the September issue. We also have one other resident who has just recently, like yesterday, expressed interest in running, and I will meet with her soon. There is still time to get her on the ballot and for her to have a candidate statement appear on our website. And that's the extent of my report for the election committee. Any questions or comments? Great, thank you.
Thank you, Tam. Utilities Committee has been fairly quiet this summer. Jason is out, I believe, until the 11th. And we will be scheduling Utilities Committee meeting upon his return to review some of the issues that you have described here in your presentation. So we'll be getting those together to see how to do that, and also to schedule the town hall and be working on that. One sad note from the Utilities Committee perspective is our recycling locally happens under the PLBC Utilities umbrella. For over 3 years, we've been able to do styrofoam recycling here in Port Ludlow, which has been exceptionally well received. And unfortunately, it appears that styrofoam recycling in East Jefferson County could be ending as of September. The challenges, it seems like a very simple process overall when you're not involved in it. The challenge is that there were multiple entities that were providing support for the process overall. So we had OLECAP provided vehicle transportation for us to get styrofoam from here up to the storage facility at Fort Worden. OLECAP also provided then transportation for us to get the stored styrofoam over to the warehouse where it was loaded onto a Northwest Harvest truck. The Northwest Harvest truck took it to the manufacturing facility in Kent, and that's how it all worked. And the reason that it all worked is that was all done by volunteer labor, and we weren't charged other than the gas for the vehicles in order to make that circuit happen. With the reduced federal funding issues that have come up recently, my understanding currently is that the OLECAP warehouse will be closing completely. Those vehicles, I'm not sure what happens with the vehicles. My understanding is the Jefferson Food Bank, I think, is going to be the recipient. They're looking for how to make warehouse space available in their facility. But at this point, they have they have so many other things that they are focused on. Focusing on styrofoam is not a critical issue for them. So probably our last collection will be at Fort Worden in the middle of August, and then we'll put it on hold until we understand whether we have another option or not. And I'll try and get an update into the Voice, kind of giving folks the detail of why that is. Even though it seems like an insignificant thing, actually the numbers of folks so I was there for every one of them. The number of folks that brought styrofoam up to the bridge deck with every collection effort was really astounding. And the amount of styrofoam that went to that was pulled out of the waste stream that went into a manufacturing facility and recycled 100% of it was in the tons of styrofoam. Which, when you think about how styrofoam weighs, it was every month there was a full 40-foot trailer of styrofoam reduced from the waste stream here and ending up in a good place. And it makes me very sad to have to share that information. That's the way things are for the moment with recycling. Yes?
Have we, I assume that's the end of the styrofoam issue.
It is.
Have we gotten further information from the county on what's going to happen to the other recycling that I've heard, you know, glass you can bring into the county, but no local place to put it. And then what's the future of the paper and the stuff that's up by the village?
My understanding currently, and I don't have the date with me, I meant to double check that before we came. My understanding is that by maybe second quarter of 2026, I believe, yeah, by the end of the first quarter, the facility-based recycling like we have here will be terminated, and all recycling will be done through the waste vendor, whoever that is. I don't remember whether it's Murray or but I think there was another one that was being approached as well. At any rate, it will be curbside bins, and we don't have detail yet on exactly what they will be collecting. I know they won't be collecting styrofoam. I believe they'll be collecting glass, plastics, paper, based on whatever parameters they set up. One of the articles that I read said it was actually going to be just a mixed recycling approach, where everything goes into the bin, and then the vendor separates it out in a process after the fact. So it will continue to be available. We'll be paying for it individually, rather than through county taxes supporting the bins.
County taxes don't go down.
But that's, like they always do, yeah. But that's what I know, Dan, in the context of the future. Any other questions on that matter? All right. Trails, you want to speak to that at all, Howard?
Well, actually, I think
I can do it either way.
you can do it. The only thing I do want to say about trails is that they've been working very hard this summer. And any of you have been driving down, is it Bay?
Oak Bay.
Oak Bay Road, you can see the completion of the last work they've done. I think they just finished it yesterday and the day before. But one hand over to Don.
Thank you. Overall, the information regarding trails is positive. I think what we are discovering as a village council in the context of trails is there are some challenges in terms of how it's actually managed here within the MPR. And so as an example, let's say that the Trails Committee approaches the board of directors of one of the village HOAs. That board of directors makes an agreement with the trails on where a trail may be located and created, etc. And our Trails Committee then goes out and makes that trail. Depending upon how that process has been recorded and or communicated, you end up with a situation where a new HOA board now is looking at the same trail that had been approved earlier and may not feel like they want that trail in their area as it was before. So one of the things that we will be trying to accomplish over the next X number of months, it won't be instantaneous, but we want to go back and review each of the agreements that exist between the Trails Committee and South Bay villages, as well as other entities that are with which we have agreements, and try and formalize them to some degree, and then make sure there's a process to review them, hopefully on an annual basis with those new HOA boards as they come along. So that's part of the bigger process. Two short-term issues that we received some input on was residents who have property aboard abutting the extension of the trail along Oak Bay Road felt that they weren't adequately represented when the decision was made to extend that trail. And as it turned out, that was almost, well, not almost, it was exclusively an LMC issue. It was LMC and the Greenbelt folks who had approved the trail and still approved it, and it came up for a vote again, and they continued to approve it. But it just points out that these things that kind of happen in the background, they kind of bubble up to the village council. So while Trails is a great organization and it does wonderful things for us, the village council sometimes inherits some of the challenging parts of managing the trails process. So That's all I have to share on trails. There will be more to come. And are there any other questions from the audience? Last chance, Ken.
Speaking that they're planning to extend the Old Bay Trail further towards the cemetery.
Yes.
I heard that in today's email.
Yes. Yeah, I think the idea is that what I heard from, I don't remember what it was, I think it was Larry, I think they intend to extend it like around the cemetery property, like above the cemetery property, and then tie it into the other trail, the other end of the corner. All right. Anything from the board? Questions, concerns? I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Board is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.